I wanted to share in this video something that I have never really talked about. I rarely speak up about this, even with my friends, but I've been getting this nudge to share my perspective and my view on what it's like to be almost 51. I'll be 51 next month, to be childless by choice, as they say, or not by choice. What am I saying? Childless not by choice is, I guess, the term. So, yeah, what do I really want to say about this is back when the pandemic was going on, this is like 6 years ago, I went into this whole deep dive on doing all of this inner work, like probably most of us, and one of the things that I was moving through was, well, first of all, I had a lot of symptoms of perimenopause, which one of them is hot flashes. And if you've never experienced a hot flash, it is the most annoying feeling to all of a sudden to just be like burning up from the inside out. And I was experiencing like probably 7 or 8 hot flashes per hour. So it was really, really, really intense. And around this time, I was really, again, going deep and doing all this inner work. And I really believe everything that shows up physically, manifests physically, is because there's some sort of dissonance or discord emotionally, right? Psychosomatically, so to speak. So as I'm kind of trying to understand why I would be experiencing so many hot flashes, I just took the normal, like I took all the stuff that everybody was saying off the table, meaning I didn't think about, oh, I'm going to get hormone replacement therapy. I was just like, there's some sort of reason, something is wanting to get my attention, is what I thought. So I'm just curious, and all of a sudden I'm listening to some podcast, and there's this woman talking about, there's two kinds of women typically, which is the first kind is like these women who have always wanted to have children and they couldn't have children for whatever reason, so they had to go a different route, either adoption, IVF, surrogacy, that kind of thing. And then there's the type of women that never wanted to have children, but we never talk about this group of women who have always wanted to have children, but who, for whatever reason, life circumstance, choices, things like that, just never was able to have children. And this is the group that needs the most, I think she said, like needs our attention because there's so much shame. And as soon as she said that, I was like, I don't know, I just felt this deep sense of like almost like somebody giving me like a virtual hug, where I just started crying because I thought, oh my God, I never thought that way. I never thought that I didn't realize, I should say, that I was really, really hard on myself. And I thought it was my fault because I wasn't able to find a man or fall in love. And I want to say that I had this traditional view of I was just going to get married one day. When I was a little girl, I followed all the traditional routes of romantic love, and I would eventually get married and have a family. Like I just assumed that's what would happen. But I never put too much energy around finding a man or being in a relationship. I was mostly focused on what is my purpose in life, and let me pursue the things that I really want. So I think subconsciously or way in the back of my mind, I was blaming myself, thinking that it was my fault that I didn't spend more time on trying to find a man and have a family. And I didn't want to have a child on my own. That was just off the table. So when she said that, I started to cry because I realized, oh, I had all of this shame and pressure and just kind of like punishing, almost self-punishing around this. And that's when I made the connection around the hot flashes, because I really thought, oh, this is my body basically punishing me, because what happens in menopause is you can't have children. So it was like this pressure of like, I'm going through perimenopause. Eventually I'm going to go through full menopause, which I've already been through right now. I'm 50, like I said, I'm going to be 51. And there's all this like stuff around that, and I'm this woman and I always want to have children, and now I won't even have the opportunity to, and oh, but it's my fault because I'm too picky, and all of this stuff that I had been told, you know um through family, society, etc., because we all hold up romantic partnership as, this end all be all, as this, like, the golden ring. This is what you want in life. Otherwise, how can you call yourself a human, And I actually made this video around romantic partnership and why it's not actually the prize, and which was a huge, huge breakthrough. But anyways, getting back to motherhood, and so I had all of this awareness now. Like, it was starting to become clear that I was unintentionally and subconsciously kind of self-punishing myself because I couldn't find a man and have a baby, that kind of a thing, right? So once I made that, or had that awareness, I did do a lot of breath work around it where I just kind of cried. And don't forget, this was during the pandemic. So I was able to really move through, because we talk about this, or we don't actually. It's very tricky. It's not something that we talk about, but maybe on YouTube we do, which is that there is a grief that occurs as, I think, a woman, when you're that period of time where you can have a baby, and then all of a sudden it's coming to an end, but you always wanted this thing. So there's a certain grieving period, and I never even thought to grieve being childless or not being a mom. And so I took the time to really grieve that dream, you know? And so, I did that for a while, and I have to say that hot flashes kind of really, really went away. So it totally worked. And now it's like a mix. Every once in a while I get one or two, but that's it. And I have not done anything, like, I'm not on any sort of hormone replacement. I do everything naturally. Um, but I guess that's another topic altogether. What I really want to say is I've been living in surrender for the past, almost, it'll be 4 years when I started the journey, but I let go of my apartment 2 years ago. And one of the things that I was really exploring was other ways to live. What would it feel like to work on a farm, to be a nomad and not have a home for a while, right? Because I wanted to explore, like, maybe the traditional way of living, maybe there's another way that's going to make me happy. And I want to experience all of it, right? So one of the things that I did was work on a farm in Normandy. And I got to tell you, when I really started to drop in and take care of all the animals, there was like goats, and there was llamas, and there was alpacas, and there was a horse, and a pony, and dogs, and also I should add that I started to watch and pet sit for cats. The thing that I loved that it gave me was a sense of, being a mother for me is about being a nurturer. And I was able to express this aspect of myself through taking care of animals. And so it gave me this sense of, like, oh my God, I love this, because it's something that I don't normally get to do, or I hadn't gotten a chance to do. And I was like, oh, so then I just need to find more ways to express these aspects of myself that being a mother would have given me. One is being a nurturer. I realized I really, really love taking care of animals. I love that unconditional love. I love coming home and just, I'm just looking at her. She's so cute. But yeah, I'm able to express this natural quality that I just wasn't able to do before. So that's really helpful. The other thing is, I think if I were a mother, it's like you want to kind of offer your wisdom, your insight, your life experience, right? That's something that's really cool about being a mother. And I realize, like, I spend my whole life doing that. Like, whether I'm talking to a friend, sharing, insight or wisdom that I've learned through my journey, or I'm doing it in a session. I was also a yoga teacher for, 12 years in New York City. And there was a lot that I was I really created a safe space for everyone. And so I'm just putting it out there for those of you that maybe want to kind of reframe it or look at it differently. Like, how can I express these aspects of myself that I think could only occur if I was this role, which is a mother, in other ways? Because the more that we do that, the less like I don't feel sad about um not being a mother. Now, sometimes it does creep in, especially when I'm watching movies and it's like everybody's grown up and everybody's around family, and I feel this like, oh, it would have been nice, to like have older kids and everybody gets together for the holidays, that kind of thing, But, my life isn't over. We have no idea what's in store for me. But even if none of that happens, it's okay. Like, I can be with the part of me that feels sad and also grateful that I get to live this life where I really am free to do whatever I want. And I'm always aware that if there's a part of me that feels sad, okay, well, then what are other ways that I can express, um, I guess, what this role would give me, or what I feel this role would give me, So I hope that is helpful. Um, so yeah, comment below. Let me know your thoughts on this topic. It's very, very layered and tricky, and I definitely feel better about it now that I'm older. Um, so yeah, we'll see. I think it's just an ongoing discussion, you know? All right, take care, everyone.